Ernie, that's Shaq. This is 2K Sports. Thanks for hanging with us. Tonight we'll see the Oklahoma City Thunder playing against the Celtics out in Boston. You take a look at the Celtics. They haven't forgotten the fact that this team swept them last year in the regular season. This is a game they had circled going in. Serge Ibaka, some thought he should have been an all-star last season. This guy gets a lot of things done.
Yes, he's a legit two-way player, not just a shot blocker. He's a consistent scorer, too. Night in and night out, double-digit in points. Shoots over 38% from distance this season. Pretty good player.
Let's send it down to Kevin Harlan as we approach tip-off.
And now, your Boston Celtics starting lineup. Starting at shooting guard, at 6'6", number 5, Garret Temple. At the center position, standing 6'11", number 40, Jusuf Nurkic. The other guard position, at 6'6", number 20, Manu Ginobili. Starting at the other guard, 6 feet 1 inches, number 8, Rajon Rondo. Starting at power forward, 7 feet 1 inch, number 41, Dirk Nowitzki. Your head coach is Brad Stevens.
Hello, and thanks for joining us, folks, for this midweek NBA action on 2K Sports. Along with Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg and our sideline reporter, Doris Burke, I'm Kevin Harlan. We have an interconference showdown here in Boston where the Celtics will square off. And going against Oklahoma City, their first meeting of the year, they took the loss in this East versus West matchup during the regular season last year, dropping both games.
Always a little tougher to see how you match up with teams in the opposite conference because you just don't see them very often.
Now the opening lineup for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Jennings out there with Ellis. Then there's Nick Young. Then there's Markieff Morris. And it's Howard in at the 5 spot. Boston on D. It's a 3-point game. This game coming on the heels of their win against Chicago.
And a very confident performance offensively, I think, guys, is really how this team clicks. I mean, when they're communicating and executing, sharing the ball, they're tough to beat.
And, Steve, you got to love that kind of performance on the road. I mean, to be a great team in the NBA, you have to be able to have that kind of performance in the other team's building. Really solid.
Steve talking about the lack of games, the reps between these two teams. There's not a lot of history between them, and this is their first chance this season to create some, I guess, with one more meeting later on coming up.
You know, that's what we get when it's East versus West, Kevin, but it certainly hasn't detracted from the atmosphere in here. I think, if anything, it's added a little something to it.
I agree. Rajon Rondo returning to action in mid-January of 2014, a little less than a year after his ACL tear. And, Steve, you look pretty good.
He did. His shooting percentages were down, but, you know, rebounding and passing as well as he ever has. Rondo, I think this year will be much more effective now that he's got some reps back on that knee.
And he gets the bucket. Rondo's got 5 points so far. And so just over a minute and a half played. They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Sure could, Kev. I mean, too many empty trips. They need some points.
Blocked. A second chance effort. Kicks it out to Jennings. Goes up again. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
Great job. Take it right at the defense. I like the aggressiveness.
Yeah, he left them no choice but to foul there.
The Thunder shooting their first free throws of the game.
And Rondo's field goal percentage dipped, but he shot a lot more three-pointers than ever before in his career. Coming off that injury, maybe not looking to drive as much as in the past. He hit that three-point shot at about 29%. I think he's got to get that mark up. If he does, then he could really be lethal.
All alone, hammers it home to polish off the break.
And the defense just lets him go there.
And once he hit the open floor, there was no looking back, straight to the rack.
Boston's gone 2 of 2 from three-point range here in the first quarter. Here in the first, just under 2.5 minutes played so far. The jump hook in deep. Nowitzki drops it in.
And Rondo trying to add range to his shot. Didn't stay idle while he was getting healthy. Seems he rehabbed his shot while rehabbing his knee.
Jennings against Rondo. Howard setting the pick for Young. And it's sent back by Nowitzki. And it's out of bounds to the Thunder as Oklahoma City retains possession. Duncan, he's checked in for Nurkic. Clock at 6. Dishes to Morris. Puts it up. No good, and tight defense there bothered that shot. Now it's sent it over to Doris Burke, who was able to talk with Scott Brooks.
They'll be up against a future Hall of Famer in Tim Duncan this one, and I asked him how Duncan changes what they do on the defensive end. He relayed that he told his guys not to be over-aggressive with him in the post, saying, if we start biting on every fake he throws our way, we'll all be in foul trouble. We can't let that happen. We'll see if they can avoid just that, guys.
And thanks for that story, Doris. Nowitzki for 3. That falls. Nice feed that time for Manu Ginobili. Nowitzki's got 5 now. Looking at Oklahoma City, they took the win in their last game against Milwaukee.
And I think, Kevin, they really showed how important it is to have a strong bench performance. You go out on the road, you can't rely on your starters night in and night out. The reserves have to contribute and help them out.
I think we definitely saw that, Steve, throughout the game. They were really tied together as a team. Didn't make any difference who was out on the floor. You'll take every road game win you can, and they're happy with that one.
Timeout is called. First of the game for the Thunder.
It had been 6 straight years for the Celtics that they had made the playoffs, but that run came to an end last season as they were clearly in full rebuild mode.
Serge Ibaka has checked in for Boston. Garnett comes in for Manu Ginobili. And a new group in here for the Thunder. Spencer Hawes has checked in for Howard. Lure comes in for Markieff Morris. Randy Foye, he's checked in for Monta Ellis. And it's Dennis Schroeder in for Brandon Jennings. .56 seconds left to play in the first quarter. And Young, here we go. No luck. On offense, here are the Celtics. They're on a 17-6 run. Oh, and they get in the way of the alley-oop. Not to be. Good play defensively. Over in the corner, Foye. Drills it from outside. Foye's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. Well, a lot of storied franchises missed the playoffs last year, and Boston was one of them. But, Steve, they knew it would be a tough season early on.
Well, trading away the talent they did, they knew how the season would play out. Ultimately it was the right thing to do because they are in a good position to build upon youth going forward.
Rondo with a clean look.
Well, it doesn't seem like they've missed many shots here.
Tried to come right back with the 3 of his own, but it's no good. Young takes it into the teeth of the D and converts the layup. Young's got his first 2 points. Here's Rondo. He's coming off a 13-point game against Chicago.
And don't forget, guys, his playmaking was sensational. He saw the floor, making the game so easy for his teammates.
Ibaka, wide open, he fires. The jump shot from the baseline is right on target.
Tough assignment for that defender with the size mismatch we're seeing.
Yeah, I just don't think he's big enough to handle it.
On tap this Saturday, November 15th, the Utah Jazz go on the road to battle the Toronto Raptors. Live from Air Canada Centre, it's the real deal.
And the first quarter is in the books. Second about ready to get underway. And a chance for just a second to check out the scoring breakdown for the Celtics.
Well, I'll tell you what, they must have had a good shoot-around because they've been fantastic from long range so far, fellas.
Yeah, their passing has been terrific, too, Clark. We're seeing a lot of assists, really moving, a lot of flow offensively. I like what I see.
And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Here's the second quarter of play. On the floor for Boston, we've got Garnett. Garret Temple is out there with Rajon Rondo. Then it's Dallenberg. And it's Ibaka in at the 4 spot. Out of bounds, Oklahoma City takes possession.
Well, Kevin Garnett came into this league straight out of high school, initially a 6'9" small forward, but he continued to grow and been listed at 6'11" for most of his career. For whatever reason, he's never embraced actually being called a 7-footer.
Manu Ginobili, he's checked in for Boston. Here's Temple. Basket is good. The assist from Rondo.
That is some real serious dime dropping there. Exquisite assist.
And Garnett, every bit 7 feet tall. And in his prime, one of the most mobile and agile 7-footers the league has ever seen.
Yeah, and one of the best jump shooting 7-footers from that 15 to 18-foot range as well. Led the league in rebounds per game 4 consecutive seasons from 03 to 07. Looks like one of those guys that was made to play the game.
Schroeder kicks to Lure. Ellis dishes to Lure. Pulls up on the wing. Rebounded by the Celtics. Rondo's got 3 rebounds so far in the game. Throws it up high. And goaltending is going to be the call. So they get the basket there anyway.
He got there late, but you do have to like the aggressiveness to go after the block. But that one's going to count.
Boston making some changes. Dirk Nowitzki, he's checked in for Ibaka. And Jeremy Evans subbed in for Rajon Rondo. And then for Oklahoma City, Howard's checked in for Hawes. Morris comes in for Lure. And it's Jennings in for Schroeder. They set the pick. On the wing, Ellis. The feed to 4. Lets the 3 fly. And again, no good by Oklahoma City.
Not able to find it here in the second. He's off stride and off track just a bit after that one he had early.
Temple can't get it to go.
That's a shot you've got to take if you're looking for the 3-pointer. I mean, the defense was nowhere around.
A lot of high hopes for the Thunder heading into last season's playoffs, and it didn't go quite as they had planned.
Nurkic checked in for Boston. Thunder would come back from the first round scare nicely as they got rid of the Clippers in the second round.
And it looked like they would be in for a good fight against the Spurs in the conference finals, but just kind of faded away as that series wore on. And I think that was more what San Antonio did than what the Thunder did.
They played their best basketball with Spurs, obviously, late in the season.
They raised it. Each series, it seemed as though they got to another level.
Yeah, hit it at the right time, didn't they? Celtics leading by 10. Evans outside. Quarter 2 and just under 2.5 minutes gone by. No good from outside. Oklahoma City's gone 0-2 from deep here in the second.
Dwight Howard with some slick passing on that one.
And here is Ginobili. Here's Temple. And he didn't get quite enough under that one. Thunder trailing by 8. Okay, well, let's check in with Doris Burke reporting from our sideline in this game. Doris, take it away.
Well, guys, Kevin Garnett is at the tail end of what has been a Hall of Fame career. Doc Rivers won a title with him in Boston and simply can't say enough. As Coach Doc says, I get very emotional. He's the best teammate, the most unselfish superstar I've ever been around. Every coach should be able to coach KG just once to see what a true team player should be. Kevin, what a compliment.
A guy you love to play with and hate to play against. Doris, thanks.
Coach Scott Brooks of the Thunder, he's brought great stability to this organization. A lot of talent on this roster, but doesn't always fit in terms of their offensive flow. So the Thunder like to keep it pretty simple with their X's and O's.
And just over 3.5 minutes played here in the second quarter. Evans passes to Ginobili.